See the unveiling of a satanic statue.
Very controversial story, much of it still shrouded in mystery. Fox 2's Dave Spencer joining us with that story.
Behind me is the building where ticket holders of the Satanic Temple of Detroit were told to come see an unveiling of sorts, a statue. But once they got here, they were told there is no statue here. In fact, we tried to go in and see for ourselves. We were told that our cameras were not allowed. We talked to people as they were leaving the event. They told they were merely given instructions to another location where possibly the statue was being held for its own protection. They wanted to keep that a secret. No matter where you stand on this issue, it's one that's igniting passion on both sides. It was raw passion and belief on display for public consumption. And this demonstration was a protest of the plans of the Satanic Temple of Detroit.
We understand that freedom of religion means we have the freedom to express what we believe as well.
There's more of a motive to get rid of religion or to make fun of religion. And I don't think that they should do that. Meaning, if you don't believe in God, and that's what the Satanic Temple group says, they don't believe in God. And they also say they don't believe in the devil. So why would you create an image that represents the devil?
This protest was held away from the unveiling site only because the Satanic Temple kept its location a secret, only known to hundreds of paid ticket holders.
I think it does add to the allure. I think some people are a little bit worried that there will be attacks. There was talk of arson from religious groups. So it's a little bit frightening and a little bit attractive at the same time.
What seems to bring this relatively quiet, passive group together is a shared belief.
I thought that Satanism was a deification of Satanism, or the devil, like kind of the Christian devil, which is totally not the case. It is more of like, only worship yourself.
And a desire to see that belief understood.
A lot of people that, in fact, are protesting out here, that they're more looking at it as they were devil worshippers, which we're not.
Some were piqued by curiosity. What is the Satanic Temple of Detroit all about?
It sounded like an interesting cultural event, and I actually looked up their beliefs on their website, and it made a lot of sense to me.
Just a few of the reasons people stood in a massive line that stretched down Warren Avenue, waiting to see a bronze goat-headed idol that weighs 1 ton and is nearly 9 feet tall.
I've seen pictures that I think were the incomplete version of the statue, and it looks really interesting. I'm a big fan of art and statues and big first-time events like this, so I'm interested to see what it looks like.
And we were told that Detroit would just be the place where this statue is unveiled. It will not be its permanent home. In fact, it will be going to Oklahoma, where it's set to sit alongside a 10 Commandments monument that's at the state capitol there. We'll follow that development and see if that's where it indeed ends up. In Detroit, Dave Spencer, Fox 2 News.
Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Paul Folger.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jessica Shambach. Up first at 5, it must be removed. That is the order on the 10 Commandments monument outside the state capitol. In a 7-2 vote by the Oklahoma Supreme Court, it says that it is not constitutional.
KSU's Patty Santos is live at the steps of the Capitol with more on what this ruling could mean moving forward. Patty?
This is the document by the state Supreme Court that says this monument must go. But state leaders saying not quite yet. This fight isn't over.
We think that the court got it wrong.
Attorney General Scott Pruitt has already filed a petition to rehear the case before the same state court. That means the monument stays for now.
I think they owe the people of Oklahoma and the state legislature an explanation.
Over the phone, Representative Mike Ritz, who paid for the statue, is worried about what this ruling could mean for other monuments.
This is a Native American myself. We have a lot of religious symbols all over the state capitol, and is this going to mean that we're going to have to take all that down?
ACLU Oklahoma attorneys representing the plaintiffs say the court's ruling is a victory for people of all faiths.
Because it's not the government's business to tell us which faith is right or wrong, or whether faith is right or wrong.
The case is over the division of church and state. Pruitt says today's ruling could have deeper implications.
And so to have a decision of this nature is more than just the Ten Commandments. It affects other areas of the state and how we're spending money in the healthcare context and also in the education context.
He says that could mean that money for religious hospitals, schools could be in jeopardy. Now, coming up at 6, we're going to talk to people who were right here, right in front of this monument, taking pictures with it while it's still standing. Live at the Capitol, Patty Santos, KOCO 5 News.
It was fun. Okay.
Hey, today's Facebook conversation this morning after that after-school Satan Club. We talked about it earlier in the 7 o'clock hour.
And it's getting news all across the country. You know, people are saying, you know, you bring up Satan, you bring up Satanists, and you elicit a reaction. So I put it on my Facebook page.
Especially when you think about putting it into schools somehow, some way.
And with snacks and things like that. Yeah. So I posted this on my Facebook page. It's Troy Hayden Fox 10 on there as well. And Phil Thompson said, I understand where they're coming from, the Satanist group, but I think mostly it's a publicity stunt. They have to know there's no special favors given for any particular sect or religion. And then down here, Michael and Michelle and Juan say, never, oh my goodness, yikes, messing with the dark side brings about evil. And I'm not sure that that's what they're after here. So let's get it straight from the horse's mouth. Stu DeHaan, head of the Arizona chapter of the Satanic Temple. Stu, thank you for being here today, and tell me what this is all about.
Hey, thank you for having me. What this is about is not special privileges, just like you said. It's about equal privileges. And what the Satanic Temple has done is offered an alternative to the current Good News Club, which is the evangelical after-school program, which seems to be the only viewpoint represented in these public schools. So what we've done is we've petitioned to have our after-school program so working parents have an alternative if they don't want their children to be proselytized by that certain very specific religious point of view.
Okay, so what would the after-school club that you would have, what would you guys do? What would it look like?
So one of the fundamental tenets of the Satanic Temple is that we should adhere to the best scientific knowledge of our times. So what we have is a program that's secular. It doesn't proselytize. The Satanic Temple has no interest in converting children or getting them to become Satanists or even educating them about Satanism, but it's more of a program about science, logic, reason, and it avoids topics like, you know, eternal damnation, superstition, supernatural, things that the CEF and the Good News Club teach in their program.
So, Stu, let's cut to the chase here. Do you really expect anybody to sign up for this? Have you seen any interest at all in this, or are you just trying to make a point here?
It was actually requested. I had a parent from that school that we petitioned to have it in approach me and say, hey, you know, have you guys considered having your own club? Because it's a very expensive alternative to send my kid anywhere else because it's the only free program. And from the internet, you know, other than the death threats that we get, we've had a lot of support and a lot of interest and a lot of emails from parents saying, from across the state saying, hey, are you going to have one in my school? Because I would sign my kid up for that. Okay,
and I wanted to mention this. You were talking about parents seeking interest in this. This would not be a forced thing if parents don't want anything to do with this. They would have to give permission. If their kids, if I have a child that attends an after-school program, I would have to give permission for my child to attend your after-school program. Is that correct?
That's correct, absolutely. And we in no way want to force this on anyone, just like the Good News Club doesn't. Whatever after-school program a child is in, the parent, of course, has to approve it because the child's not going to make his own decisions about where he's going after school. So it's something that is absolutely voluntary, and we're operating it the same way as the Good News Club in that it's the same policy, it's under the same law, and we're going by the school policies, and we're doing it by the books to make sure that our program fits in with the curriculums that are in place right now.
Stu, if you don't teach about Satan or you don't teach about the dark side or the occult, why are you the Satanic cult? Why are you a Satanist? Why even use the name Satan?
Well, the difference between the Satanic culture and, a lot of these Judeo-Christian cultures is we do have absolutely no interest in proselytizing. But what we do have a very high value in is to separate religion from the supernatural and from the superstitious. We don't believe that religion has to be that way. We actually think that's very harmful, especially to children. When you're telling kids if they don't think a certain way or act a certain way, they're going to be condemned to eternal damnation. We think that's very harmful. And in the Satanic culture, we avoid that. We teach self-empowerment and logic and reason and to take responsibility for your own actions. And those are some of the highest in the Satanic religion, essentially.
All right, Stu DeHaan, thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you.
explaining what you guys are hoping to do. And
Yeah, people
we'll see what
talking about
happens.
this all over the country today, too.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
all over various news organization websites and things like that. So thank you. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, let's follow up with Stu, too, and see if he gets anybody in that. My suspicion is you're not going to get anybody signing up for that thing. That's just my suspicion.
I don't think so, but
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll see. Let's follow up.
Okay.
You know, I've told you this before. I don't usually read anything about myself. I don't look at the tabloids or the internet unless it's about me being pregnant, and then how else would I know? You got to find out. But I heard there was an article written about me, and I would like to address it right now. It's a pastor who wrote an article for the Christian Post where he accuses Hollywood of having a gay agenda and said that Ellen DeGeneres celebrates her lesbianism and marriage in between appearances of guests like Taylor Swift to attract young girls. Okay, let's just break this down. First of all, I'm not married. I'm married. That's all. And Larry, I don't even know what it means to celebrate my lesbianism. I mean, well, I guess I do. It's like that. It's there. So in the article, the pastor criticizes a lot of TV shows for promoting gay agendas. He says that Glee has over 5 characters. Modern Family had a gay wedding. Anderson Cooper boasts about his homosexuality. Listen to the sound of my voice. Attention, youth of the world. I want you to live your lives being exactly who you are. Be true to yourself. The most important thing is to be true to yourself. The second most important thing is that you wear Ellen underwear and only Ellen underwear. And now, audience, look into my vortex and dance with me.
As you know, the Supreme Court decision on Friday in favor of same-sex marriage is controversial. Some people just don't like it. They don't believe in it. They don't think it's right. And one of the most common arguments you hear is, how do I explain this to my kids? And it's a good question. At the very least, it's a fair question. You wonder if children are sophisticated enough to wrap their head around something like this. So we went out in the street today to ask kids what they think and what they know. And here they are. Kids share their thoughts on same-sex marriage.
Could you tell me what gay marriage is?
It's when 2 men and 2 women get married.
So is it when 4 people get married?
No.
Could you tell us what gay marriage is?
I know nothing about that yet.
You don't know anything about it? Why would anyone want to get married?
Because they love each other and they just feel a connection, I believe.
Do you think it's a good thing?
Yeah.
Do you know what makes somebody gay?
Yeah.
What?
I got a broken leg.
No.
When should 2 people get married?
And at the afternoon.
That's a good time to get married. Do you know what marriage is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's when a husband and a wife get married.
So what do you think gay marriage is?
When a boy and a boy get married and a girl get married.
Oh, you're right. Do you think that's very hard to understand?
For some kids.
But not for you?
No, not really.
Do you think anybody should be able to get married?
If you're old enough.
Oh, you're very wise. Do you want to get married?
Yes.
When?
When I'm 30.
Why would someone want to get married?
Because they're pregnant.
Because they're pregnant? Could you tell us what gay marriage is?
Where a boy marries another boy.
Okay, and could it be when a girl meets or marries another girl?
No.
Just a boy meeting another boy?
Yeah.
Wow, what would it be called if a girl married another girl?
Lesbianism.
Do you think anybody should be able to get married if they want to?
Yes.
How come?
Well, because if they want to, they should be able to.
Would you want to get married?
Not really.
How come?
Because when you get married, the other person is entitled to any money the other person has.
So it's a financial issue for you?
Yeah.
He's fiscally conservative. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more, click below to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if not, do nothing at all.
A short boat trip across the River Tigris takes you from Iraq into northern Syria. The Kurds have forged their own path through the brutal civil war between the opposition and the regime. As they've carved out their territory, so have the Islamic State. This is their front line. IS fighters are holed up just a few kilometers away. Around a third of the Syrian Kurdish fighting force is made up of women. Many of them are still teenagers. They fight alongside the men, facing the same enemy and the same dangers. Diren is just 19 years old.
When they see a woman with a gun, they're so afraid they begin to shake. They portray themselves as tough guys to the world. They see women as just little things, but one of our women is worth 100 of them.
The Kurds have been battling the Islamic State for more than 2 years now. Unlike the Iraqis, they've managed to defend their territory without the help of US airstrikes. They've also taken prisoners. Some of them were marched in front of our camera. We weren't allowed to speak to them, but their jailers said they were Syrian Arabs caught fighting alongside the IS.
Most of the ones we catch are locals. The foreign fighters all wear suicide belts, and when we capture them, they blow themselves up.
In the deserted villages around the front line, one of the few signs of life is the barrel of a tank peeping out from behind a mud hut. Well, the Kurds have got their flag flying from atop that little hillock there. The Islamic State are in control of the next village, that one shimmering in the distance over there. And the only people that are left are here to fight. The war has split communities here. Some Sunni Arab villagers support the Islamic State, but others have joined the Kurds.
Half of the people around here are with IS. They opened their gates to them. They were our neighbours, our families, until they joined Islamic State.
It is this local support that has allowed the IS to spread like a cancer through the region, and the Kurds know they can't defeat them on their own. Gabriel Gatehouse, BBC News in northern Syria.